What's
live.
happening, fellas? What you up to, gentlemen?
Snowed the hell in. That's what we up to.
Yeah, right. Sub-Zero's mad.
Looking out the window,
It's a little.
it is looking like a raging blizzard right now.
Yeah, it's a little rough out there. Once we get done, I'm gonna take that snowblower out there. I ain't shoveling.
I'm not doing none of that. I live in an HOA, sir. Like,
See,
what's going on, Shmoney? I hope you good in all of this snow. Like I said, it is looking like a raging blizzard out there. But, ladies and gentlemen, what better to do than talk about games on a Sunday when it's snowing like crazy? Right?
Right.
ain't
Right.
nothing better than that.
Talking about games, playing games. So with all of this weather, I wanted to kind of make today's show a little bit about the reminiscence of gaming, like, what we used to do back in the day when we were kids, the retro games, the backlogs, how you catch up, what you do on snow days, what you do when you're not going out of the house and being an adult, because we all know that being an adult usually requires adulting. It usually requires leaving the house, interacting with people, and sometimes days like today can just force you to kind of sit down, settle down, and just chill. So, today we're going to talk a little bit about, how chill gaming is, or what your gaming habits are when we're chilling. So
Chilling, Blizzard.
So on for our question of the day, actually before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Start Button. I'm your host, King Anarchy. Here with me, we have Mr. Hustle Simmons and obviously Mr. Raj X. Like I said, we gave a little bit of an introduction. Now we're gonna move into our question of the day. So our question of the day is: on days like this, when you're chilling, what game do you prefer to play the most? What would you consider your comfort game?
But back in the day when I used to play it like that, we World of Warcraft, just because it's like I ain't got nothing else to do. Might as well get my dailies done, level of alt, farm, do some dungeons like that. This morning specifically, I took the time and I was like, my backlog's getting ridiculous, and I was like, I've had Chronos New Dawn on the docket for like months. I finally started that. By the guys that did the Silent Hill 2 remake, another survival horror game. Good so far, but yeah, normally
about it.
It's solid so far. Nice spooky game on this cold morning.
Honestly,
Spooky games.
for me, something story driven. I think when you're snowing, it's like the perfect time to just get a story driven game started up. You don't have anywhere to go, so you can just focus on that. So it'll be whatever. Honestly, it's whatever story driven game is in my backlog on a snow day.
So what you're saying is, on snow days like this, or days where you're kind of forced in, you just start tackling the backlog?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Either that, or you buy a game that's story based that you're interested in. You want to get started up.
True. All right. So let me ask this. What's one gaming thing from your childhood that would not fly today? Like, absolutely not fly today. I got one. Since we don't want to have like silent dead air.
I was gonna say, like, if we ever somehow go back to like, it would never happen. But for some reason, if we ever went back to need like memory cards or some nonsense, I would lose my damn mind.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Especially if there was original PS1 data cards. Like, all right, you could have like, what was it, 15 save slots you could have on it, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you were playing that many games, you had to have multiple memory cards, and then you had to remember which memory card had you save on.
Technically, we're already there though.
Yeah.
Because like right now, if you got a PS5, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got 600 gigs of space. And then you gotta go out and buy a.
space signal.
You gotta, whatever it is that comes with the PS5, and then you still have to buy a external like M2 drive, right? And for your PS4 games, if you decide that you want to hoard all your games and save them on your console, then you still need to buy a regular external spin drive, a hard drive.
Yeah, I mean the memory card did kind of just evolve, but in a different way in terms of console storage.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but I'm just saying, if I need to actually have a dedicated physical token that I had to plug in to access my game,
slot, yeah, that makes sense. Keeping track of them, etc. That makes sense. What about you, Hustle? Still thinking on it?
Ooh, I got one. Consoles that require mandatory expanses, not like not like storage, not like game storage or game file storage. I mean shit like the RAM pack from Nintendo for the Nintendo 64.
The expansion pack, yeah.
Expansion pack. That type shit would not fly today at all.
So incomplete systems.
Huh?
Incomplete systems.
Yeah, incomplete systems.
So
that would not fly today. Could you
here's my rebuttal for that one, because I actually do have a little bit of a rebuttal. So
hold on. Wait. Not only that, but games that require that, because the games themselves can't handle the standard RAM on a console. So now to play that one game, you need this little tiny RAM expansion slot for your console. Otherwise, you can't play the game at all. That wouldn't fly today.
Nintendo kind of did that twice, if you think about it, but worse than the expansion pack when they made the new 3DS. Because remember, the original 3DS couldn't play Xenoblade Chronicles ported to the regular 3DS. They had to have that special new 3DS to play it.
Imagine if they did that with the PS5, and they were just like, "Oh, here's this game coming out, but it's only for the PS5 Pro."
I mean, technically, the PS5 Pro and all of that stuff, like, especially when it came to the PS4 and the PS3, like the Pro versions of those kind of did have those requirements.
If a game came out for the 4, though, you could still play it on the 4. It just played better on the Pro.
Yeah, but there were games that were almost unplayable on the regular PS4. They didn't require a PS4 Pro, but they were almost unplayable on a base PS4.
That's not the same. But that's not the same as like you literally cannot play this unless it is on the Pro. Like it will not play at all if you don't play it on the Pro.
Yeah, like imagine if The Last of Us. Yeah, imagine if Last of Us 2 was only played on a PS4 Pro.
User base.
I think that currently, so the requirement of the system upgrade is kind of whack, but I think that was their way of making a pro version of a system or trying to extend the life of the system, while also feeding into giving better graphics, better speed, better quality, whatever. I didn't really fully agree with the RAM packs, like for the N64, or I don't like the force of an upgrade, but at the same time, for example, the 3DS that we discussed, at the same time with the 3DS, they made a new 3DS, but look how long the original 3DS was out before they made a new one. The new 3DS had an additional joystick. And that was kind of the actual joystick.
No, it didn't.
Yeah,
it had like that little nub, didn't it?
No, it had a second. It has No. The new 3DS didn't have a second analog, did it? I don't think it did. I gotta look at it.
A little tiny nub.
Oh yeah, it was a tiny gray button above your face buttons. Yeah, it was like
yeah. So they added an additional joystick, which the original 3DS didn't have at all.
Yeah, and they were 4 years apart.
They were what?
the 3DS and the new 3DS were 4 years apart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they put in that same kind of time frame, like what you would get from a PlayStation 5 versus a PS5 Pro, because the life cycle of a console is approximately 8 to 10 years, like we've been saying forever. So if the life cycle of a console is 8 to 10 years, then after 4, you're obviously going to expect some upgrades.
Well, my 3DS had a second analog because I had that. What was that thing?
Had to what?
The thing we all bought from Monster Hunter.
The little extra add-on that add. There was an add-on for the 3DS. We had to clamp it on, so it gave you a second analog stick for like the camera.
We all had that.
You didn't need it, but it did make it a lot easier.
I'm about to say, I don't think I bought that.
You didn't buy that?
No, I was powering right on through without it.
Nigga, I was not going through that shit without a second analog.
And then eventually,
the Circle Pad Pro, that's what it was called.
Circle Pad Pro, that was it.
With the 3DS XL, you know, that kind
Didn't
of
work
solved
with that.
my issues. I didn't need it anymore because I had the little nub. Because to be honest with you, while playing, you move your finger over this little nub, and we all hated them on laptop keyboards and stuff. So you know, I know how the little nub just really doesn't do it. Can I also say that I still think that 3D was probably one of the worst features on a gimmicky kind of console.
I barely used it. I used it like one time.
Like I used 3D once, and all of a sudden it made you feel like you want to throw up, and then it was just like, I'm good on this. But I still need to have the 3DS and a new 3DS because I want to play those games.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I slid up that 3D slider. I went to the Best Buy demo and I slid it. I was like, let's see what it looks like on Max. Literally, I got uppercut. Like that's how much it like hurt my eye looking at it. I was like, oh no, just tape that closed. It's never going on ever again.
Yo, the 3D on the 3DSs look like they give you nosebleeds for no reason.
Arguably just as bad as a Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
I said arguably. I didn't say for sure. I said arguably.
It was not good. Like Nintendo.
I could respect that. You know what I don't think would fly? Do you ever notice that games never gave you tutorials back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the mild. You got the mildest like. But we didn't even start getting that to like Super Nintendo really, because the NES was like
original Mario, Super Mario 2, Mario 3, the Super Nintendo Marios. They didn't give you a thing.
Niggas gave you a
it actually wasn't until like PlayStation Nintendo era that they started telling you how to play the games.
So many more buttons.
The onboarding in old games, like people don't want to talk about it, but the onboarding in like people be like, oh, games hold your hand now. Nah, motherfucker. Games in the old days had horrible onboarding.
Yeah, you were expected to just know how to play.
Like a good majority of y'all did not finish a lot of old ass games out there. I don't want to hear that. There's legit games I have not finished from that era. Like I didn't know what to do.
Like The Lion King?
Lion King?
Batman Forever?
I couldn't figure out. I didn't know until
Batman Forever is one of the worst designed video games I've ever played in my life. On Super Nintendo, it's horrible. Oh my god, that game triggers the hell out of me, man. Like I remember renting that from Blockbuster, like or $1 Million Video, wherever it was from, and just like losing my mind how badly designed that game was.
Yeah, I didn't beat Sonic 3 until much later on because I couldn't figure out how to get past that one area in Carnival Night Zone. That you're apparently supposed to like jump downward on it a certain way, the little rotating battery type things. I could not figure that out as a kid at all because the game doesn't tell. Up until that point, the game don't tell you that's what you have to do. So when I got to that point, I was like, oh, well, I guess I can't beat the game now.
Okay. How about renting games?
I kind of miss it.
But would you do it today?
If I could rent a game on Steam for $5 and know I can probably play it in like a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that like I don't because like that what's like yeah, my Steam library is big as shit and I can go back to stuff play it anytime. But it's like sometimes it's like I just want to try a game out for an extended period of time for a couple hours. I don't know if I want to own
What if
it.
a rental was like $20 for 5 days?
Nah.
Because you all could like
at that point, just wait for the Steam sale for me $20.
So here's my thing. What about the you got to factor in things like inflation. If a rental was $5 in 1990 whatever 19 old days, and you rented it for a week, what happened?
She knocked a treat under your door, Hustle. That's why she's trying to get in your room.
Okay.
My cat was trying to get in this room.
Give me a second.
She got it.
I was like, she's like reaching out. I was like, what the fuck is she doing?
He was skeeved out. He was like,
she was like, give me. She's like, give it. I need it. I need it. Like she was going crazy.
All I saw was his face go.
Bro, no, she reached deep under the door. Like I'm like seeing whole paw. Like I was like, yo, what is going on? Like a zombie.
Literally like a zombie movie. Like trying to break in the door.
Yeah, like adjusting for the price of inflation. And like the fact that we now have like memory stuff. Like, can you beat most games in a week? If you can beat a game in a week, then sure, you rented a game to beat it. But for like $5, it was cool. And like now it would probably be more of like a subscription service. Like I think GameFly still exists.
Does it?
I think GameFly does still exist. And if like why haven't games like why haven't websites and services and monthly signups like GameFly become increasingly popular since things like Xbox Game Pass can become more popular? Is it the mail system? Is it the what is it? We're all working off of licenses anyway.
True.
Do rental spaces require physical games? And is the lack of physical games and the lack of physicality what's actually killing all the other industries that were supported by gaming?
I mean, yeah, because like not like the games were the main moneymaker for a lot of like stores back in the day, but it definitely brought in a lot of money. Like, I mean, how many like all of us grew up going like, well, us moving $1 million, or like when that closed went to Blockbuster. Like,
I live down the street from $1 Million Video, sir.
Yeah, but yeah, that was where where we were at a field at. $1 Million Video was the closest one, so we went to $1 Million Video every week.
Yeah, but like I could walk there. Like it was literally like I'm literally if there wasn't places in my way, I could probably see from here to there.
Out the $1 Million Video.
But like once everything, I mean, obviously, like the way once streaming got that kind of killed all rental stores. There was a spot over here in PA that was trying to make a living for a minute after streaming got big, and I was just like, respect for you trying to do it, but I don't know how long it's gonna last.
So it's not Netflix that killed rentals like Blockbuster, it's streaming.
Yeah.
Because remember, Netflix they were mailing DVDs and stuff. They actually just stopped that like last year or 2 years ago.
Damn, that's soon. I thought it was like way long ago that they stopped that shit.
Nah, dog. You want to know how I know?
You rented something?
No, I had the service. I was getting the Netflix DVDs, but at this point, like at some point, I ended up paying for the service, and like I wasn't even like doing the whole send the video back and get another one, and you know what I'm saying? Like I just like I would get movies, and then they would just be in here.
I think that It's
So
tough
I'd
to
be
make it.
paying extra just to hold on to like 2 DVDs.
But I think physical media is gonna make a comeback though, because people are starting to get sick of streaming services turning into cable again. Like we made a
I'm
full
gonna be
circle back to
honest.
cable.
No matter what you do, no matter how it works, it's all going to turn into cable because cable wasn't cable when cable started cabling. You know, people got more access to channels. They got the opportunity to, see more TV and control their TV a little bit better. So that's why people went to cable instead of just having a little channel 1 through 12 or whatever it was, 1 through 13, especially as technology moved forward. But then cable just started increasing prices and offering more and more channels and things like that. Got a little too expensive for people, so people decided that they wanted to go streaming. Now at this point, your monthly streaming bill can exceed $200 easily. If you have Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, ESPN, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Tubi,
Crunchyroll,
Crunchyroll,
Crunchyroll.
High Dive, Peacock,
Apple. Oh wait, you already said Apple TV. Didn't you?
Apple TV. Yeah, add Apple TV in there. Like with all of those services, and then there's still more that we never mentioned. But these are the most common services. Netflix by themselves, you talking maybe $20-$30.
Yeah, because I think it just went up again. And then on top of that, don't forget add your music streaming on top of your.
Oh, we didn't even get the music. We just talking about television.
Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. Unless it
Deezer, YouTube Premium, like Amazon Music, like it adds up
too much.
And you add your gaming in there. Now you got Game Pass, PlayStation Plus. You got your Nintendo Online.
I'm about to say that
everything has its own separate system and service that they're trying to offer because they're all fighting for your attention and your dollar. They don't really care about your attention, but they want your dollar. So they have to grab your attention to earn your dollar.
Which is funny because what's happened is a rising increase in piracy has happened because of all this. Like when at the peak of streaming, like when there was less shit to have to buy in terms of subscribe to, right? At the peak of it, piracy was at an all-time low.
Yes.
Like
the more
almost no one was pirating anymore.
People are gonna want to pirate.
People were legally just watching shit.
Yes.
Right? But then they started clamping down on password sharing on accounts, so you can't legally watch your favorite show unless your friend wants to buy an account now.
Well, it's also the fact that that's one big thing. I think that one of the worst things with like having the generally streaming service is like literally the company just playing hot potato with
with your content.
We had this like all the X-Men movies like before like they Hulu did whatever who has ever had X-Men. It's like, we had a deal. It's gonna be on Paramount Plus for 8 months. Then it's gonna be on Netflix for a year. Then it's gonna be on Hulu for 6 months. And it's like, he's like, I'm like trying to like seek out that specific type of movies. But sometimes like, I want to watch this movie. Oh, it's nowhere on streaming. It's literally nowhere on streaming. And I don't have a physical copy. And that's why they wonder why people pirate it. It's like,
do you know how long it took me to find The Big Bang Theory on streaming services? You know how long I looked?
Who has it?
Max.
So Max?
Wait. I thought it was originally on NBC, so wouldn't it be on Peacock?
You would think. Yeah, literally. 6,
Max
7. I don't know.
When Max first came out, Max was the one that had it. But before Max came out, I was looking for The Big Bang Theory. I was looking for it on everything. That is how I ended up watching all of the seasons of How I Met Your Mother. Because in my efforts, what happened?
I mean, it's a great thing to binge watch.
But in my efforts to find The Big Bang Theory, I found How I Met Your Mother. And I was just like, because I was like, well, maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the show that I was talking about. And, I wanted to see. So, then I'm like, yeah, nah, this isn't the show, but it just turned into, hey, this show is kind of good. Like I could definitely mess with this.
Not a bad thing to accidentally come across.
Nah.
I'm just saying.
Not at all. Not
love
at
that
all.
show.
Not
Even I'm
not
an avid How I Met Your Mother fan, so it's like, hey, welcome to.
And
the
then
show,
How I
you know
Met
what
Your
I mean?
Father wasn't terrible either. Like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get angry at having to watch Hillary Duff. It's just me. Just as a matter of fact, when I'm in Vegas, I might go and watch Hillary Duff.
Hey, she's like touring again.
She's doing the residency the weekend that I'll be there. So if I fail out, or not fail out, but if I scrub out of these tournaments in Vegas,
You'd be singing it's the best of. He'd be screaming it's the best of both. Oh no, that's Hannah Montana.
I don't care nothing about the music, bro. I don't care nothing about the music.
Yeah, someone said.
Want to watch me see Hillary Duff.
Speaking of Hannah Montana, someone said today Hannah Montana would not work because the internet would literally just expose that she was.
What is Hannah Montana?
They're not wrong.
I mixed up a Hannah Montana song for an old Hillary Duff song from Lizzie McGuire movie.
Oh.
I was like, oh no, wait, that was Hannah Montana. I'm stupid. Ignore me.
No, but they're not wrong. Hannah Montana could not work in today's social media because everybody would just be exposing who Hannah Montana really is instantly.
You know,
it would not be a secret.
I mean, it wasn't a secret.
You know, I never watched Lizzie McGuire either.
That's all right.
All right.
I was too old for all that. Hannah Montana's and Lizzie McGuire's and all this. I was too old for all that. That was before my. That was after my time. You know what I'm saying? So, like, by the time that those were actually popular shows, I was already doing things. But
yeah, like Shmoney just said, yeah, I remember I was rewatching all the Pokemon movies. I couldn't find Destiny Deoxys. It wasn't on anything for years. I had to get it my own copy from Amazon.
Yep.
That's exactly on my point. Like, and this is all tying back in because we kind of got lost in TV world and Hillary Duff because I can get lost in Hillary Duff any day. Anyway, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But like I was saying, yeah, but having to find certain things or trying to find certain games and certain games, movies, whatever, in different streaming platforms. Streaming platforms are kind of our primary medium because whether you like it or not, right now we're still streaming games. We're in a digital age. Like, they are making consoles that don't even have disk drives anymore, which means that technically we are either streaming or we're downloading, which is basically still streaming, because we don't have the licenses. We get a temporary license that now the company can revoke at any time. So if they decide that they want to remove the game from their servers, then they can remove the game completely. If they want to deny access, they are allowed legally to deny access because they wrote it into their terms of service. And it just seems like the all-encompassing terms of service is like they just change a little something here and there, and all is good, and nobody can do anything about it. Now that's a legally binding document that you accepted, and you just have to be forced to go with it. Why can't you decline a terms of service and still use a service? Why can't you decline whatever these terms updates are without, like, when you're downloading something, you're actually required to accept whatever the terms are before you are able to use it. And I understand having that term and having to accept it for compliance or whatever, but denying me all use of it, that's like saying I can't use a toilet unless I agree to flush. I should flush. It's right to flush. But telling me that I cannot use it unless I agree to flush feels wrong.
Why should I have to comply with your rules for your game? Why am I put in the position of that when I'm giving you my money?
Correct.
I technically should have more say.
Right. Or the fact that when it comes down to it, you're complying, right, with whatever terms that they set forth. And when you comply with said terms, but you spent your money, now you feel as though you're out of the power. Like, you don't have any of the power.
All I can think of is the Dr. Umar quote, "Why do you need white people paperwork?"
That's what I was channeling.
turn
You caught
turn
me.
of service.
All right,
Oh my
so
God.
I think that it's time to move on into one of our primary topics. I think we spent quite a while on our question of the day. It's been what, 40 minutes? We
Like
powered
y'all
right
going
into it.
anywhere? We snowed in.
Yeah. I mean, we're probably not gonna like be on here for too long because I want to give people the opportunity to enjoy their snow day, and it's relatively early, so we'll probably get off close to normal time, make it a little bit of a shorter show. But I want to say that retro games and retro inspired games are back. You know, you have games like Hollow Knight, very retro inspired. Your Metroidvanias, like that whole genre in and of itself almost feels very retro inspired. You know, you have a lot more Sonic games coming back. I mean, they're not necessarily super popular, but like there's a ton of different games that are kind of seeing that population again, where people are like, hey, this is kind of fun. So I kind of want to ask why retro games or retro inspired game designs are thriving, even amongst the newer audience at that. Like, why do you think they're kind of killing it right now? Like a Hollow Knight. Why would a Hollow Knight be popular?
Because I think at the core of it, like a lot of people don't like playing games that are overly complicated with mechanics, something like that. Like I think a lot of people
in a game that's overly complicated with mechanics.
What was it? I think this Chronos New Dawn is on Bane. Calypso Protocol. Like just the combat in that game is annoying. That's kind of like the Dead Space a la spiritual successor came out a couple years ago. The combat and the movement in that game is made only complicated with like the weird. You do like weird bullshit like gun kata, like that movie Equilibrium moves for no particular reason. Where it's just like I just want the game to be scary and be challenging. I don't need all these weird like extra abilities, everything like that. Whereas Hollow Knight, for example, it's just like, hey, you gotta jump, you gotta slash, you gotta dash, like double jump, and you got some magical abilities. Like I think why so many games like Mario were so good back in the day. It was just simple. You got into it, you played it. Obviously, you got to keep playing it over and over again to figure it out because you would die, game over, start over, something like that. But most Metroidvanias obviously are more lenient in that they don't give you a game over just because you died. You go back to your save point, figure it out. That's like where Dark Souls got its inspiration from. Boss runs from Metroid, save point back to the boss rooms, everything like that. I don't know. I think people just like pick up a game, play it, very easy to pick up and understand from the first time you pick up the controller.
Yeah. Like, all right. So I have both of the new Ninja Gaiden games that came out. I have Ragebound and I have 4, and they are vastly fucking different in terms of how someone can approach playing those two games. Ragebound is a side-scrolling kind of not Metroidvania because it is like level sex. It's very classic Ninja Gaiden side-scroll platform action game, right? With a couple little puzzle elements here and there thrown out. Ninja Gaiden 4, however, there is a long ass list of motherfucking combos you should know to play that game. That the most casual person is gonna be overwhelmed at looking at all the different systems and unlocking this and knowing all these different weapons. There's like 4 different weapons, but then those weapons also have like a blood in enhanced mode. It has different moves to it. It's easier for someone to approach Ragebound than it is 4. Ragebound is very classic. Hey, this button attacks, this button jumps. Boom. That's that. 4, this button jumps, this button attacks. Oh, but you need to know how to do this button that blocks, but you have to also learn how to do a perfect counter with this button. And then if you do a perfect counter, there's a counter combo that you could do that you could use to attack. But there's also a blood enhanced version of that counter combo that comes from that perfect perfect, not just counter, but perfect counter. Yeah, the people get overwhelmed at that. It's just Ragebound is very simple to get into, easy to pick up, easy to learn. Still challenging though, because a lot of platforming in the bosses and you still have to have some kind of reaction time. But I can see someone being less enraged and frustrated with Ragebound than I see them with 4 to what it's evolved into the series itself.
Okay.
Nice little contrast to see the massive differences.
So there are games that have very simple play mechanics, but then have overly complicated in-game mechanics. So, for example, a game that just recently came out. It's another free game that I picked up to start playing. Arknight Enfield. The combat is very simple. You press, like, if I'm using an Xbox controller, you press X to attack. And then when the icon comes up for you to do a little combo with one of your other party members, you press the right button and you press it again and you press it again. And that's pretty much the depth of your combat. If you want to use one of your like signature moves or your ultimate, then you hold the left button and you press X, Y, B, or A with the corresponding person, or you hold that button to do the ultimate. But like, just use, like, the combat sounds extremely simple. You got a little bit of a dodge, so you can press B to dodge, which would be circle on your PlayStation. So you got a little bit of a dodge, fairly simple. But the game is not entirely focused around the combat. The game is a factory buildings type of game. So what is it? Satisfaction was a game that was similar. Like, what you want to do. Yeah, Satisfactory. There it is. Satisfactory, not Satisfaction. So it's kind of the essence of the game is built around something like Satisfactory, where you are basically using your production elements. And that part of the game can tend to be a little overly complicated. You want me to be honest. Because getting to understand how to put things and how to mine and like where to put stuff and blah blah blah. I'm not even at a point where I can say that I've even built up like a decent factory yet. It's only been out for a couple of days. It's been out for literally, let's see, since the 22nd. So we're on the 25th. So today is like day 3. But it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, this is something that seems simple, but when you start getting into the complicated parts of it and you start seeing all of the tutorials that they're giving you, you just kind of go, this could be a little hard. Now, I'm not saying that Arknight Enfield is a bad game, because so far it's been okay. Anybody who wants to try it, I encourage you to go ahead and try it. The story is still decent. It's a gacha game or whatever. I'm not really caring about the gacha part of it. I just want to kind of get through and play a little bit more of the story and learn a little bit. Like, the characters and all of that stuff don't really matter to me at this moment. But I'm just saying that the complication can turn people off. So my question now is, like, when we talk about retro games and when we talk about retro style games, we think of things like shorter games. We think of games that have, tight mechanics, like Hollow Knight and Silksong. Those mechanics are tight. That game is wildly popular and was nominated for awards because of how tight it is. But yet it is functionally a retro style game. Yeah, are we going back to those days? Like, do we want something that is relatively short but just has high replayability?
Yeah, I don't see the problem with that. It's like we've talked. It's not the exact same thing we talked about in previous episodes of open world games, but games are just doing too much. now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like open world games is obviously the worst culprit. Like we were talking about Assassin's Creed before, just because they just load it with so many side quests, collectibles, random other things you find out in the field, like which is cool. Like I like the world to feel alive. I like to feel like there's actually
Right.
things happening. But
One
sometimes
of our comments
too
was,
much.
as long as the game feels alive, then open world is fine. Sometimes it's not about feeling alive. Sometimes it feels like bloat, and that's where we kind of got to parse through, you know, what is alive, what is it feels alive. You know what I'm saying? Versus what is distracting.
Yeah, it's like it's weird. Like Skyrim feels alive just because how the I think like obviously like I don't think Skyrim's the best game they put out, but you feel a different vibe going to the different towns and settlements, everything like that, talking to the NPCs, doing quests, going to the mage college, doing the DLC. Like that world feels alive. There's always stuff going, like people hunting you down in the middle of the woods just because like you had the mark put on you, stuff like that. There's stuff that feels alive. Starfield, like we talked about, massive empty planets that I've argued in the past. Why are you in the game?
Yeah.
Like you sent me somewhere and I did all the time and to get literally nothing, not even a data pad, like a corpse, like nothing at all on some of these planets in Starfield. It's like, you know, so it makes you feel like, do I even want to go to this planet? Whereas in other games, like in No Man's Sky, it's like, oh, I haven't been to this planet yet. We check out all these things because they've updated and kept adding new stuff to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like massive, like empty gaps between towns. None of the towns have any personality. There's not any like unique and really any unique NPCs in Valhalla compared to other, like obviously Assassin's Creed 2, you get to meet a bunch of cool characters, Black Flag, historical pirates, everything like that. And Valhalla is just like, all right, well, go here. You did that quest. Oh, we're gonna have to high enough level to do the next quest. Go around and fight randos and explore, and hopefully you get leveled up. But we make it a lot easier for you if you buy the double experience.
So,
Oh yeah, that was some hoe shit.
So Valhalla was more. How do I want to put this? All right. What about Assassin's Creed, the Spartan one?
Odyssey? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Odyssey.
Yeah. Odyssey
how does that compare to like Valhalla's experience?
I'm trying to be not biased because I love Greek mythology, but
I love Greek mythology too, but I mean, I like
was-
Norse as well.
even there were things to do other than side quests that were all cool landmarks to explore in Odyssey versus Valhalla. It's
I
like
think True.
it's like you got to go to like Thermopylae. You got to go fight Cyclopses like as like optional things. There were like
Minotaur.
There was the Minotaur. There was going to Athens or going to the Temple of Zeus and like going to the foot of Olympus, stuff like that. Like they were all like cool things that you could see in the game. And also the NPCs in the Odyssey were better. So it's like you could go meet Socrates and other characters and stuff like that. Like there were other
So then it felt
things
like a reversion, like a backwards kind of effect too.
I was gonna say also there's a lot more land diversity in a lot of the older games, especially like Odyssey. A lot more hills, mountains, and shit, and valleys and shit. And Valhalla, like
it's mainly
a
woods.
lot of flat land.
There's a lot of flatland woods and obviously snowy areas and stuff like when you go to the
Yeah.
other like more northern
It gets
Scandinavian
very
areas.
samey very quickly. I didn't like all the little narrow rivers and shit. I was just like, this is annoying. Like, I don't like this at all, bro. Compare that to like Origins, where you have
Going around Egypt.
So
the gigantic Nile.
speaking of getting lost and stuff, like were retro games harder, or was it just us? Like, what game felt unfair when we were kids?
I will still argue Battletoads is still unfair.
I mean, I think the only one that I really think one of the only ones on my list is The Lion King.
Yeah, I would agree on Lion King because like I've beaten Aladdin. I've only beaten Lion King like twice, but I know if I go back and beat Aladdin, I think I can do that right now. But Lion King, it's like, oh god, I gotta remember. I think the worst thing about the Lion King is a stupid. I just can't wait to be king level. If you go on the wrong giraffe and you get launched back at the beginning, it's like annoying as hell.
For me, I think it would have to be Mother.
Oh, original Mother, not Earthbound.
Original Mother on NES. I swear to God, that beginning is literally RNG. Because if the game decides that it's gonna have you fight a super tough enemy right at the beginning, that's it. You're done. Like it almost soft locks you out of completing the game.
Ernie Paul said the first TMNT game was insane.
Yes, it is.
That was insane. I still got farther than that than I did Mother.
Yeah, like Ghosts and Goblins, the first Ninja Turtles game, like Silver Surfer game, like they were torturing us back then. They didn't realize it, but they were just straight up torturing us with some of these games they put out.
Yeah.
Mind you, like I said earlier, so you're talking these games that are extremely difficult, right? With no tutorial. You just had to figure it out.
Or have a Nintendo Power, if you had that subscription.
Yeah.
Nintendo Power, one of the other various gaming publications. Rest in peace to most of those. But yeah, like, so now I guess we've talked about the pluses to retro. Can we talk about the pluses to what age we're in today? This digital age that we're in. Onboarding is better. We don't have to worry about broken cartridges, scratch CDs. If your game gets ruined, you don't have to go back to the store and buy it all over again. Your save data is always available and usually uploaded to a server so that you can have a server save too.
I don't care what anybody says. Save points are great. I love
Say what?
Save points are great. That was a great modern addition to gaming. Like just automatic save points.
Regular checkpoints. Yeah. Because I remember playing Sonic 2 and I would be sitting there playing it for 6-7 hours trying to beat the game. And
I'm sorry.
And you know what happens at dinner time? Your mother come in there and tell you,
turn that damn game.
Turn it off. Get it off. Turn it off. Get the game off. You've been playing it too much. You put in way too much game time today. You turn it off. Turn it off. But mom, I'm almost at the end of the game. Oh. Like, chill. I'm just about to. Nope. I don't care. You're not going to talk back to me. It's time to eat. And then after you eat, you go to bed. Because now you talk back. Turn it off. And the next time you turn that game on, you got to start all the way over again. Start from the beginning.
Imagine if, which I know there's already mods for this. But imagine if the standard for like Souls-like Dark Souls game was there were no fires. So when you die, back to the beginning. No bonfires.
Oh, bonfires.
So when you die, back to the beginning.
I think
in a Souls game. All right, here's the thing. That works if you have levels. Like Mario, for instance.
Yeah, like that worked for Demon Souls because you had to choose going to different levels.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you had to teleport.
Imagine having to go through the entire level, which is kind of how it worked in Demon Souls, it felt like.
Yeah, you had to unlock shortcuts, so when you went back through, it wasn't as bad. Whereas, like, if it was like imagine if it was Elden Ring, start from the game, getting out, and then you die, go back to the original grave that you started in every single time. Oof. Oh my god.
How many people do you think would actually complete that?
No, like, because the game's like you're meant to die so many times. The game, like, if you have to play Elden Ring and go like if you're all the way up at Renala up at the school, and then you happen to die in maid school, and they got like Red Wolf or Radigan kills you something, I don't know, and you got to go all the way back to the oh my god, no. I would lose my mind.
That'll do that.
I would lose my mind. I know. I see people play crazy mods. I'm like, better than you than me, because these games already frustrated me enough the first time through. I'm not trying to add artificial frustration.
So Smoney said, I would say the only pro to restarting is that you knew what to do, so you didn't just BS and made you a better gamer. So I'm not a Souls player. I find Souls games frustrating, and I feel like they don't respect my time because they keep putting me back to blah 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 blah, or they're purposely trying to do certain things to frustrate me and aggravate me. That's me personally. Now, Raijin is very much a Souls player. I don't think it makes you a better gamer for knowing what's coming, knowing how to handle it. Um, because being a better gamer means that you would be more intuitive or you would be more in tune on how to do things in the first place overall. But it just taught you how to play that scenario better, because it doesn't even teach you how to play that game better, because you're gonna get caught, you're gonna die again. It's gonna happen. You could mess up. There are games that literally, are out here just being difficult for no reason. Like, I like when games respect my time. My time is extremely limited, so I can't play anything that's gonna purposely frustrate me. I play video games to relax. I play video games to kind of take my mind away from the regular world. I use them at my leisure so that once I'm done with the hustle and bustle of life, I work, I do this, I do that. If I don't have any more anime to play, then I just kind of I don't want to turn brain off, go to gaming, but I want to go to gaming so that I can experience, something that's outside of my regular world. I want to be able to like get lost in a story, or, feel that competitive nature of playing like I was about to say a football game, but a soccer game, since we're Americans. Or, maybe a little gun action, since, I could be one of those ball and gun type players.
I'm about to say that.
I was like, you said a gun. I was like, maybe a ball to go with that gun.
Yeah, but again, like, I don't want to have to, like, if you play Call of Duty, you don't play Call of Duty to, like, you play Call of Duty, you want to get better, yes, but you're mainly playing because it's an arcade style loop, and this is the multiplayer, not Warzone. But it's an arcade style loop where you have the opportunity to, kind of improve your skills by repetition. And you're essentially testing your reflexes. When you play things like Warzone, it's similar. You're testing your vision, you're testing your reflexes, but you're also kind of looting and you're trying to extract. And I think that games like Warzone, not Warzone, that was DMZ that you were trying to extract. Warzone, you're just trying to become the last man standing. So again, these are live service games that are versus that are, kind of stroking that I want to be better than someone else. So I just think that, even though they have that same loop, they're still respecting your time on the fact that they're going to give you a match. It's going to take you 10 minutes. 10 minutes is usually the limit for a regular Call of Duty, lobby. So in 10 minutes, you can play through a match, feel a little bit of satisfaction, and keep it moving with your day. So, like, I don't think repetition may make you a better gamer for that particular game, but I don't know if it makes you a better gamer overall, because they're only teaching you how to play that.
But I mean, also, but like something like a Call of Duty is literally built around quick matches. Because if you had to sit in a fucking COD match for the length of time that it would take, like, let's say a standard league match, that fan base would quit. 40 minute, a 40
40 minute team deathmatch would be crazy in Call of Duty.
Ugh. Like, I don't like the sound of that shit.
Uh-oh.
You imagine that?
You got that face. What are you about to say?
So would you say, nah. That's insensitive.
What?
Would you say COD is for the ADHD league players?
I'm saying COD is. I mean,
I mean, a lot of League players also play COD.
I mean, again, no offense to anyone who has ADD, ADHD, anything of that nature. I'm not, like I said, it's just kind of like for the people who can't put that amount of attention. Like, would you say that arena shooters are for the people who can't put that amount of time and attention into a game? Because League, while it doesn't feel like it respects your time, it does respect your time because you have ARAM now. You have shorter game modes. But
I mean,
and Wild Rift also is they have like a 10-minute limit.
Yeah, you got Teamfight Tactics, you got ARAM, you got Wild Rift, like you got short modes. That
that is a level of toxic we're not ready for. Yeah, that's absolutely.
I was gonna say a lot of the COD community doesn't have the patience for things that are like MMORPGs, so there is that.
So, do you think that you think retro games were mean? Like, all right. Imagine Nintendo taught patience through emotional damage. You play through Super Mario Brothers, and you run through a level. You get to stage 7-1, and you die your last life. You die your third life. Start over. Sounds kind of mean. Like, you got 3 lives, and then of course you get your little 1-up mushrooms, whatever. Like, you get your little extra life, but like that's kind of mean.
It is. I was gonna say it is. It isn't, but like, let's say like Super Mario Brothers 3. They gave you way too much stuff that you can like cheese the fuck out that game.
Yes, they added things that would give people like, you gonna keep playing Super Mario 1 forever? Like, look at Mike Tyson Punch Out. No saves, and I'm not talking Super Punch Out. And if you did not know the patterns, like literally, like you had to learn the dodge patterns, like, do dodge left, dodge right, go back. Like, otherwise you were cooked.
Well, let's not forget that a lot of those
I love that Mega Man password system.
Yeah, true. Let's not forget that a lot of the 8-bit era games were not built to be completed. A lot of them were built to take your quarters from the arcade.
Like what? Explain to me, please.
The difficulty, the unfairness of a lot of the 8-bit era games. It's because
I'm just saying, like, which ones were meant to be like arcadey style? Because like
Ghouls and Ghosts.
Pac-Man has no end.
Pac-Man, yeah,
that has no end.
You said 8-bit. I'm thinking 16-bit. I was thinking like, but yeah, Pac-Man, and all of those Atari style games, they were arcade games.
Yeah, they're basically arcade games.
Playing in arcade. Home systems weren't a thing, or they weren't as much.
So much.
You can argue Sonic is in the vein before they added like checkpoints and other things. Like later games were arcade style because like game over, like you go back to start back from the beginning.
Yeah, Sonic 1 especially. Oh my god, Sonic 1. I love Sonic 1, but I also hate specifically the second level. That shit is terrible.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I think personally the second level in every Sonic game is the worst.
Nah, Chemical Plant Zone goes hard.
But is it
you
fun?
Didn't like Chemical Plant Zone?
But is Chemical Plant Zone Act 2 fun to play?
Oh, you mean that one spot that everybody drowns in?
And also, but I would argue the worst. I'd say the worst is in Sonic 1, the ruins. I think the ruins.
The fire, that shit sucks so badly, bro. It's so bad. It's like the game literally just makes you slow down.
Mystic Ruins or whatever.
Terrible.
It's called.
Absolutely garbage. Mystic Ruins is bad.
Oh yeah, we might have to wrap up soon because they are out there making snow noises. And I don't want us to get interrupted because what in the world is that? It looks like this man has a I don't know what you call a tractor that's like he's riding on a standing little bulldozer. Like it's crazy. So yeah. So it might get a little loud in here. So I might have to go soon. But you know, what I will say is that I think that retro gaming. Actually, I don't know if I want to say that. I was going to say I think that retro gaming is a superior style of gaming, but I think that I'm also looking at it through rose-colored glasses. There are many games that I had back then that I'll replay even today, but I want to know how many of the games that we have today are actually high on the replay value. When I got a PS4, I kept my PS3 out because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna play these games. Who did I lie to? You or me?
Everybody.
When I got my PS4, I was like, I'm gonna leave this out because I might want to go and revisit a PS4 game. I got a ton of these games all over the place. Ask me how many games I played from my PS4 since I got my PS5. I played some PS4 games, but I have not booted up my PS4 more than like 3 times.
That's also a topic of discussion of like, is backwards compatibility really that important now?
Is backwards compatibility what?
Is backwards compatibility really that important now? Like it's cool.
It's
a cool thing to have. It's a cool feature to have, but like, I'm gonna be real. I often don't go back to play them old games, so it's like I don't really need it.
If you have so if everything on every PlayStation that you ever owned was backwards compatible, and when you got your PS5, you had access to all of the PS1, 2, 3, and 4 games that you ever owned, how big would your backlog be? You would almost be overwhelmed and frustrated at how many games that you saw that you owned and either didn't get to play, didn't get to finish, or wanted to go back to every once in a while. Then you'd be forced to face the facts that you may or may not actually have to deal with saying that you actually didn't like a game versus I just put it down because, you know, something else came out.
I mean, I am fine with confronting
but a lot of people aren't
being like this was not it.
Like if in order for a game to be called bad, right, it got to be really bad. But if you think about it, right, and now here we're getting to the point where I'm gonna start saying some off the wall stuff, but if you think about it, right, most of the games right now that we would be willing to play are rated like a 7, right? If a game is underneath a 7, we almost won't even touch it. Now think about all of the games that you've played and all of the games that you've beaten. If every game that you've beaten was considered a 10, every game that you got close to the end to was considered a 9. Where would you rate your games that you started, got through a little bit of it, and then never even kept? Like, if you had to rate your games based on length of not even length of time, but amount of progress, how many 10s would you have? I mean, Rajan, you beat games more than anybody else I know. So
games that I didn't finish. Like, see, that's a weird number to try to put it, because there's definitely games I enjoyed a lot, but for some reason, just because easy distractions, didn't finish for whatever reason. Yeah. But I'm not gonna say.
But have you gone back to them? Do you have when you have time? Like,
yeah, like
do you get them eventually?
Eventually, I get you, because I remember for some. I have to look back at what came out, but when Darksiders 3 came out, played the hell out of it. I got mad far. Something else came out that just like completely took over my time, and I forgot about it. And I was like, oh shit, I gotta go back and beat Darksiders 3. So I started a new game and I went back and beat it. But it wasn't because I wasn't enjoying Darksiders 3, but it was just like something else, like there's a shinier toy on the horizon that distracted the hell out of me.
That's how I am right now with I'm just now going back to completing Shadows. I was enjoying the game, but a lot of shit came out. I was just like, damn.
I mean, Shadows is a fairly new game, and you know, so like right now. But to me, and here goes another one. So to me, almost every Assassin's Creed game is designed to become into my backlog. It's designed to be in my backlog. After the first Assassin's Creed, I beat the first Assassin's Creed game. It took me a while, but I beat it. It was my first PS3 game. So I beat it. Because, when you don't have many other choices, you're going to do something. But Assassin's Creed 2, it took me like a year to beat Assassin's Creed 2.
Actually, I can tell you exactly what took away my time from Darksiders.
What?
Smash Ultimate came out 2 weeks later.
Oh yeah, dude. Gotta unlock them characters, man.
Well, that was also when I was still kind of like going to tournaments a little bit and playing the hell out of it. So, and then I went to Evo the next year. So yeah, I was playing the hell out of Smash, trying to prep for Evo.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, so I feel like Assassin's Creed games are often designed to just go into the backlog. There's always been so much to do in all of the Assassin's Creed. I think, as a matter of fact, one of the fastest Assassin's Creed games that I've played, like, and when I say fastest, it means that like I've beaten it sooner than all the rest. I think was Unity.
Yeah, I think that one story wise is the shortest.
Yeah, I think Unity was the one that I beat the quickest. Followed by the one where I think Unity was in England, right?
France.
Oh, so then the other one, the one in England, was Syndicate. That was the second fastest. Those were the ones that I went through and I beat them fairly quickly. But 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, it took me forever to get through those 3 games.
1 is pretty short too. I beat that in a weekend.
1 is pretty short, but I didn't beat it in a weekend. Like I said, I beat 1, but a lot of people will say that 1 was long and boring.
It is. It's very repetitive. It's
repetitive.
Just, you have to repeat the exact same cycle in every new city you went to.
Yeah, like it's repetitive, but at the same time, it's also one of the first PS3 games to come out.
It was very early.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Like, I feel like there's also time bias there because we're coming from PS2, right? And like we're moving into this big graphical change. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. We got a major upgrade when it came to visuals from PS2 to PS3.
Yes.
In my opinion, at least. There was a major upgrade in visuals from PS2 to PS3. The same with PS1 to PS2. Because you can't tell me that looking at Final Fantasy VII versus Final Fantasy X was the same experience.
Nah. Even like the last one on PS1, 9 to 10 is crazy.
Yes.
And 9 is the most graphically superior Final Fantasy on the PS1. And then you look at 10, it's like, and then when we get to Kingdom Hearts compared to like old Final Fantasy games, like insane.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, sometimes the mechanics aren't the best, when we get a new game or whatever, but like, that doesn't mean that the experience, because if that's all we have, like that was the first Assassin's Creed. Did you know how much fun I had jumping off of buildings in the haystacks and then running up on people and jigging them in the neck with a hidden blade, and then just walking through the crowd with my hood on? Like, I don't know what he's talking about, but like somebody might.
I do miss that feature,
boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Altair was that god.
I do miss that.
But how much you want to bet that sooner or later we're going to hear about an Assassin's Creed 1 remake?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Honestly, that could do with a remake. It out of all of them, I think that is the worst out of that entire series.
It's the worst because it's the first one.
Yeah,
and
that one put Assassin's Creed on the map. Remake.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, some of these games don't hurt. Like,
did
Dead Space
the worst?
I was gonna say, did Dead Space 1 need a remake?
No,
not really. Except unless you were trying to play it on PC, because the PC port of that game was awful. It was back in the Games for Windows Live days when that's when it came out on PC. It's terrible controller support. You had to like download like mods to make it runnable, make it workable on PC. So yeah, in terms of on PC, it could have just did an upgraded port. It didn't need a whole remake. But I love the remake because they added stuff to it, new voice lines, new endings, everything like that.
So like, there's a much different context too, in with Dead Space the remake. So it's like, yeah, they improved it.
Yeah, but they can do the same. I think Ubisoft could do the same thing with the first one and make it really good. But Ubisoft is kind of in some trouble right now, so who knows what we're getting out of Ubisoft in the next couple of years.
I don't know if we'll have an Ubisoft in the next couple of years, and that
They already still off.
they split off Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and their other largest franchise. What was it?
Tom Clancy.
Splinter Cell.
Yes, one of the Tom Clancy games. I think it was.
Splinter
Well,
Cell.
Rainbow Six is Tom Clancy.
Oh wait, yeah.
Far Cry.
Far
Oh,
I believe
yeah,
it was
yeah.
Far Cry. I
The
believe it was
major
Far Cry.
makers.
Yeah, so they split that off into their child company, and they're canceling a lot of other games. They're shutting down studios. They're reorganizing things. So I don't know that we'll get much from Ubisoft going forward. They keep saying that there are some games on the backlog that they're trying to develop, but
Yeah, the only thing they confirmed is still being made is Beyond Good and Evil 2, but that
the game is never
That's
coming out.
not coming
never
out,
coming out. That game is never coming out.
That game is coming out after GTA 6.
right? Yeah, and it's also coming out after the Reconstruction era Assassin's Creed game.
I'm gonna be honest with you. We got a Forza in Japan before we got GTA 6.
I can't wait.
I know, right? The Xbox Developers Conference was probably
That was pretty lit. I'm not
We
gonna lie. Xbox.
we
did
got
their thing.
confirmation of a Fable
And it
being
looks
redone
good.
before we got GTA 6.
Yo,
And you know
Fable-
that this joke that we started, because I'm taking credit for it. We started this, but
honestly, yeah. We're legitimately about to get Fable before GTA 6.
Yeah.
And it looks good. And people are actually excited about it. Because I remember the first trailer, people were like,
I thought people were always excited for Fable.
Combat looks a little slow, but that was just that first thing. We need to see more.
yeah.
Like, wasn't Fable always a game that we always got excited for?
I think after Fable 3 and then they did that Connect Fable game, people were like, oh, Fable's dead.
Oh, no, that doesn't count. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like Fable 1, Fable 2, Fable 3, like the mainline Fable games, like I think
Yeah.
people generally and genuinely got excited for them. Now, whether
no,
or
what
not
always got
they
disappointed.
paid
I'm
it
saying
off.
is 1 and 2 are good. 3 was bad. In my opinion, 3 was bad. And then,
Yeah.
then
Oh,
people
no,
were like,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, like, whether or not your excitement paid off is a whole different story. But people got excited for it. I mean, by the time 3 came, that you were prepared to be let down.
The problem was that Peter Molyneux just kept over promising shit.
That's the
Every
problem.
single Fable game was like, dog, just be realistic. You don't gotta.
Isn't that what's happening this time?
Doesn't seem like. I think they're more realistic with their
They've
expectations.
said that we're gonna be able to blah 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 from the first trailer, the first everything. Hopefully they live up to it. I don't care.
I watched
I
the
just
full
want them to make a
developers
good
thing.
game.
Yeah, true. I watched the full developers conference for that. It seems like they're way more realistic with their expectations in the features surrounding the game. And we see what they're talking about. Like how you can have a family and you got multiple kids now. I guess you can have, which is like,
And when you die,
Crazy.
can you choose one of those kids to continue playing the game as?
I don't know. I
Okay.
think that'd be
No.
cool.
As long as they didn't say something crazy like that.
That was supposed to be a
when you
feature in
die-
Fable 1.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know why they
That was
scrapped
the
it.
point.
That would have been cool. Like,
It would have been cool, but do you know, like that's a crazy concept to try to.
I know it's hard because like, how do you keep the story going with like a set amount of quests? You'd have to build a system that would make infinite quests.
It would be procedurally generated, and it would be Starfield all over again.
Unless the quest generation is actually really good.
That's
Which is something that they're playing around now with AI.
I was about to say that's something that would be completely reliant upon AI.
Yeah.
But yet the argument is that AI is no good for gaming.
has its places if
I
done correctly. We're not.
I
I'm not talking about like the things that these motherfucking companies are talking about. Is just like you can use
Make an entire game in AI, make the characters
generative
and the
AI to
art and the
create a game.
music.
It's just like what the fuck? No, I don't want a generative AI created game. I want a curated game that okay, maybe use AI to create like an infinite side quest system where the characters
side
actually
quests.
have some kind of like importance or some shit. Like basically, here's what make like a nemesis system, but for quests.
So
Do
why
that.
haven't we seen another Nemesis system?
Because Warner Brothers.
Because WB patented it.
Well, I know the actual Nemesis system is patented. What I'm saying is, why haven't we seen another Nemesis system?
Because people are too afraid to get sued.
Like,
Yeah, I think people are just avoiding getting any kind of argument and getting litigation about it. Even like if they make their own system that's inspired by the Nemesis system, Warner Brothers can be just like, it looks like a lot like our stuff. Hear from our lawyers tomorrow, and it's just like, why even?
but I think that we need to figure out what the patent is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what part of the Nemesis system is actually patented?
That's another problem. I don't think anyone has that as information. So when you don't have the information, you can't.
You gotta be the skill monkey to go out there and just try it and face the consequences.
Yeah.
Also, got to figure out how long the patent is.
It's like
Patents are usually 20 years.
Like that. Like CD Projekt Red could do with the Nemesis system for Cyberpunk.
It's 2036.
So we got 10 years left on that patent.
Yep.
Oh.
It just so happens that we just hit the 10-year point. So it was a 20-year patent.
Yeah. Because Shadow and Mortar was 16, right?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. No, but they would have had a patent before the game came out. So it was
2014 is when it came out.
Yeah. It was a 25-year patent because they would have had to patent the system before the game actually released. If the game released in 2014, and that means that they probably put the patent out there in 2011. You give it like 4 to 5 years to cook, obviously, because you're developing your game. But when you first develop this system, you have to make that patent. Otherwise, you run the risk of it being stolen. And like I said, I work in pharma, so I know that these patents are usually a pretty decent amount of time. The main sad part about the Nemesis system is that they use it twice and let it die.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Also, hot take. I was just double checking, looking at awards because I was on the Shadow Mortar page. I forget what I said in this episode. That definitely should have won Game of the Year over Dragon Age Inquisition, in my opinion.
Thanks.
I don't know. I enjoyed Dragon Age Inquisition.
I like Shadow. I mean, I liked it more than 2. I still have to play Veilguard, everything like that. But out of the nominees that year, out of the nominees, it was Dragon Age Inquisition, Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone, and Shadow Mordor. And of those 5, I think Shadow Mordor was the best game.
Shadow of Mordor was a good game. I had it or have it, I think, somewhere around here. But like, I beat Dragon Age Inquisition. I didn't beat Shadow of Mordor, which is odd. I think that Dragon Age Inquisition, like, while Shadow of Mordor had the Nemesis system and probably a better combat system, I think Dragon Age Inquisition had better story elements and things that could capture you and keep you into the game. Personally, like that whole revenge thing, it's like, how much can that keep you before it starts to get a little dry?
Yes. I get it. I just think it was the next. I mean, it also had combat similar to the Arkham game, so I think that gave it a nice boost too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you don't run through Shadow of Mordor, it can get repetitive really fast. Like if you don't run through and start just getting like once you start realizing like, hey yo, I killed this dude. Why he came back? Why he know how I fight? Now I gotta think about. Now I gotta change this and change that. You know what I'm saying? Like
I feel like that'd be dope for like
when
Cyberpunk.
is somebody going completely? Like when you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it makes sense in like a game
And
like
then if you kill
Cyberpunk where
him,
you kill a cyber psycho and then or you at least disable a cyber psycho, then he comes back with better upgrades and
that's
implants and
yeah.
shit.
And it's not that in Shadow Mortar you killed them because when you killed them they got killed, but they were replaced. But
Yeah.
but like oftentimes they would run and be like, I'm gonna get you next time, Gadget. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. So, like, it became a, I'll get you next time. I know how you fight this time. I got you. You shot me last time, so now I got shields all around me. Try to get through my plate armor. Oh, slash. Oh, now you use a sword. So I was like, all right, bro, cool. And I mean, I like the learning. I like the learning that comes from it. It's just a matter of like when it came to story elements. And this might be a personal bias too, because I can't really do the Lord of the Ring. Every time I try to watch something Lord of the Ring, I fall asleep. Shadow of Mordor did not have that same effect on me. But like
It
every
took a
time,
very different but
yeah,
better approach, I think. I
yeah,
didn't see
it,
the
it didn't
animated
have that same
movie.
effect on me. But I don't know the lore because of it. I don't have the same connection. I don't have, what I'm saying? Like I'm not as vested. Like I was vested in Dragon Age Inquisition. You know what I mean? Like I played Dragon Age 1, Dragon Age 2. Like I'd beaten those games. I was and even beyond that, without having beaten those games, like Dragon Age Inquisition kind of self-walked you through its own story. And there were just so many different things to do. The character interactions, the interactions with your party, the fact that I could, slay any one of my members with the sausage.
Listen, I would have said go watch the Hobbit movies, but they found a way to stretch that out into three stupid movies.
Yeah.
I like I said, I tell people I'll give it a try. I can't promise that I'm gonna stay awake.
No, don't watch the Hobbit, bro. They like it's a short book that you literally could get down in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. They're
Mm.
like, nah, bro, we gonna add in mad stuff to this that was never in the book and stretch this thing out to three movies. We making a trilogy out of a short story.
I actually own the Lord of the Rings trilogy in the book, right? Because I figured that all in one book at that.
Yeah, they're all one book. They're not
Yeah.
like
No, I mean like the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy. I own it in all one book. So like it's a nice little thick book. But the thing is that since I couldn't get through the movie, I decided, maybe the book will do me better. I can't. I still never finished chapter 2.
I love the books, but Tolkien is a little
Wordy.
the concept of brevity was lost on him a long time
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Mm.
Tone, it's all right.
Wordy is the
I still
word.
have a War. Tone, it's all right. I still have a Warhammer book that's like 1,000 pages that I've not cracked open. That book backlog, crazy though.
My book backlog isn't really terrible. I own the Hunger Games books, the Harry Potter books, and Lord of the Rings, and I just try to keep it fairly simple from there.
One of these days, I'm just gonna get that and open it
Hmm?
up. I'm just gonna read that. I'm just gonna read that and power through that 1,000 pages of
What?
Malekith.
Oh,
Yeah, it's 1,000. It's 1,000 page book on the fucking Dark Elf King.
okay. Yeah. So, it's 1:15. We have run for a decent amount of time. I don't want to keep you guys for too long on this beautiful, snowy, wintry Sunday afternoon. But I've enjoyed this conversation about retro games and backlogs. And I essentially know that we have mixed the two because it's fun to talk backlog. Like we've dug into like a lot of the backlog issue. We've even dug into some of the current modern gaming issues. So I look forward to next time being, something more interesting or something even as equally interesting. And I thank you guys for joining us today. And for you guys in the audience, I thank you guys for being here with us during a blizzard at that.
Yeah.
You didn't have to give us your time and attention. So we appreciate you and we really enjoy having you here and talking with you. With that being said, as you know, we're going to have our normal wrap up, which is if there's ever anything that you want to achieve, all you have to do is press the start button. For now, we're out.
Be safe, y'all.
Peace. Stay warm.